Kemnon has discovered an evil artifact, an accursed item known as the Mask of Death.
You will hand over the mask.
Uninvited guest. What good is the light of your goddess? She cannot help you.
By the light of therein you shall fall.
I wish that you bring Sir Osric back to life.
Show yourself, villain! Thou canst not escape my justice!
Hide behind the mound of dead barns.
The four elements, like man alone, are weak, but together they form the strong fifth element. Moral.
Listen, if this is about that farmer, I totally thought he was a ding-ding.
You raised our dinner from the dead.
Apparently.
That was awesome.
The story doesn't end here, does it?
Oh, no. Check it out. I have a cool new villain lined up. The Shadow.
The girl was but a means to an end. To lure the five of you here. My quarrel was never with you. The great secret I mentioned. Do you remember?
I shall grant you any one wish that you desire.
Hi, I'm Nathan Rice.
And I'm Brian S. Lewis.
And 20 years ago, we fought the vile necromancer Mort Kemnon in what has become a cult classic, the gamer's Dorkness Rising.
Well, to be fair, we didn't fight him, our characters did. It's true.
But he was not the greatest challenge they would face, far from it.
In the Gamers 3 Hands of Fate, our characters' players, the real people who roll the dice, were pulled into the game by their nemesis.
You know his name. Say it with me now.
The Shadow.
The Shadow?
The shadow?
The Shadow.
And now, to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the filming of Dorkness Rising,
And the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons itself.
we're bringing the film saga to its conclusion in The Gamers' Dorkness Falls. Dorkness Falls. For over a decade, the gamers have been trapped inside the fantasy world of the game. Every gamer's dream, more like a nightmare.
How have they survived? Will they ever get home? And how will they ever defeat this,
Indeed they do. And the answers they seek, as well as my nefarious plans, will be revealed in Dorkness Falls.
Did you come all the way out here for just that one line?
I did, yes.
You know how Kickstarter works. We have 30 days to reach our goal or this movie never gets made? What? Well, it's more than we've ever asked for before, and we know that. But that's the only way to get this story told right. And you guys have never let us down. With your help, we can get this final piece done right.
So, what happens in Gamers 4? No spoilers.
We find out what the gamers have been up to over these years. How they adapted, how their group has expanded.
How vague.
You said no spoilers.
Minor spoilers? Like a light smattering of spoilers?
The Shadow disrupts their lives and forces them to undertake one final campaign.
You mean that the players themselves are going on a life or death quest as actual adventurers?
That's right, yes.
Do they have powers or class levels?
They do not.
What do they have?
Player knowledge.
We're bringing so many people back. The cast is back. The writer-director, our director of photography, Chris Mascio, our fight choreographer, Kevin Inoue. The band is getting back together with 20 years of experience. Now we finally know what the hell we're doing. Well, the rest of them do, finally.
It's not just a reunion, you guys. We are bringing in so many new folks, so many new faces, some of which you might even recognize.
Hello.
And so many secrets that we have to keep under wraps for now. But take my word, minds will be blown.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God.
It's gonna be Eric.
Epic, honey. It's gonna be epic.
It says Eric.
The Kickstarter runs now through June 29th, but, and we cannot stress this enough, this is a once-in-a-lifetime campaign. If we do not reach our funding goal, this story never gets told.
So spread the word far and wide. The Gamers Dorkness Falls is kickstarting now.
And whatever happens in this campaign or beyond, we would not be here talking to you today if not for the unflagging support of fans over the last 20 plus years.
So from all of us to all of you, thank you.
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 Now say the line.
I don't want to say the line.
Say the line!
Chibi chibi.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in this too.
30 days, folks. We can do this.
Onward to Waffles!
Waffle! It's better than waffles.
It's gonna be Eric.
Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Gamers Dorkness Falls panel. I am your host, Andy Dobrowski. I will be editing this thing, and I would like to introduce you to the rest of the panel. So let us start with Matt Vansel. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What?
What are you doing on this?
Oh, I'm the writer-director, and you can blame me for this.
Okay. Abby.
Hi, my name is Abby Ebenezer. I go by they, them pronouns, and I am the producer on this.
My name is Brian S. Lewis. I go by he, him pronouns, and I played Cass in and Brother Silence in the Gamers Dorkness Rising and the Gamers Hands of Fate, and I'll be playing Cass and who knows what else in the Gamers Dorkness Falls. Also, I was told I could promote something, and I have something to promote, but maybe I should wait a little bit later on second thought. I'm waiting a little bit later.
No, we have so much time to fill. You wait. You hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, it's good.
And Kevin, not Lodge, a different Kevin.
Yes, one of several. Hi, I'm Kevin Inoue. I'm going to be helping design the Violence and Mayhem, and quite probably jumping in front of the camera at some point. I think I had 9 different walk-in monster and other roles in Dorkness Rising, and was the chaplain in the Hands of Fate and Shaman Kern and Journey Quest. So yeah, I enjoy jumping in when I can as well.
Kevin, do you remember how many times you were killed in Dorkness Rising?
I know it was not. I think 9 rolls. I don't remember
9
how many
rolls,
deaths. More than that in terms of deaths, because like the goblin died several times, for example.
Several times, right? More deaths than character rolls. That's incredible. Only Scott has a higher count on that, I think.
That's true.
I got to be a dead bard though. That was one of the roles.
That was, yeah. Remember that folding table we covered in bodies and extras? That was fun.
I think I was only like a puppet of a dead bard. Like someone put a boot on my hand, and that's pretty much
right.
it.
Yeah, that was my boot.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, do you want to talk a little bit about this project? Kind of what's going on and what can fans expect?
Right. So this is the long-awaited Gamers 4. This is going to conclude the series of Gamers movies that began with Dorkness Rising, continued through Hands of Fate, and now we're going to conclude it in the Gamers Dorkness Falls. Yes, that's that one that came out about 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, we were prepping to make Dorkness Rising. But this movie will also touch a bit on the original Gamers that came out in 2002, with the villain of the entire series, who's been plaguing the gamers in one way or another through all the films, the Shadow.
The Shadow.
We should have rehearsed that ahead of time.
Shadow.
So you just saw the video. Our Kickstarter for this is going live on Tuesday, the 28th. So what is it now? The 24th. So yeah, 4 days from now. It runs through June 29th. We have a target goal of $500,000, which we need to bring this movie to life. And I'm pretty confident we're going to hit our goal and bring you the final piece of this film series.
So,
right. So that's like an hour, right? We're done?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We've done
We're gone.
So I'd like to open up to the panel to talk a little bit about why you're interested in doing this project. What's really driving you, apart from just the fact that the clock's ticking and we're all mortal beings?
Well,
That's
I'll start. So I'm the baby of everyone, obviously, because I'm the youngest. But on top of that, I'm one of the newest members to kind of join. I did Journey Quest 3.5 with Matt years ago.
Plural, yeah, years, yeah.
Many years.
And I've been watching gamers since I think 10 to 15 years ago. So getting a chance to actually be involved on the production side and the acting side has just been absolutely amazing. Meeting all of these crazy people who I've come to know as really good friends and family. It's been honestly one of the best journeys that I've gotten a chance to be on. So family, friends, the love of being a dork is helpful, and I get to make money. That's the most important thing. I get to make money.
That's what I'm really trying to say, guys. We get to make money. I love just to piggyback on yours a little bit. That it seems as though I've been gaming and being a dork for many years and stuff, but it feels kind of like maybe it's just my personal perspective because I have children who are of gaming age now, but it seems like it's making some sort of resurgence, at least now than it was several years ago. It's becoming like more and more a relevant topic that a lot of people are hip to and are savvy with, and so that's really, really exciting because some of these jokes are universal, and some of these concepts, and I love that more people are getting into gaming, and I love that we get to do another movie that not adequately, like actually does well the spirit of gaming, as opposed to many other movies that have attempted to do that. So I'm really, really excited to put this final chapter, put it together and meet with these people again and reprise these roles again. And I love that for a while there, I'm sorry I keep on talking, but for a while there, it didn't seem like maybe this was really going to become a reality, Gamers 4. It kind of kept on, time kept on marching on. And so it was always sort of in the distance, never really coming closer. And now it's finally coming closer. I'm so excited because the time that it has taken to get to this point to tell this story has only allowed more depth and weight to these characters, and we get to play with that and instead of try to explain it away, we can receive it, and it can be part of it, and everything about this project excites me. So sorry, I'm done now.
Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, we can go to Kevin. Matt's going to talk a lot.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll go. And while I'm talking, people can think about what they would change the green background behind Matt into. This could not have come at a better time for me. Working on Dorkness Rising feels like multiple lifetimes ago in a way. I was living in Seattle 2000 to 2010, and so it was really great to be able to play with folks on Dorkness Rising, and I was asked to come in for Journey Quest, and I was like, well, but I've already made the decision I'm going back to grad school to get an MFA, so I won't be here for future seasons. And like, well, make you a character, we'll kill off. It'll be great. So I was the Shaman Kern. I got to blow up. Although I did not get to be lit on fire on screen, which I was really hoping at the time we'd get to do, because I was part of a burn group in Seattle too. And so I went back. I got my MFA. I pursued a career as a theater faculty member. I got my MFA, got multiple teacher certifications, including with the Society of American Fight Directors. Got my SAG membership, doing stunt work. Wrote a couple of books, and I had a couple tenure track jobs for a while, trying to work my way through into better places. But for a variety of reasons, and including the family need to find a state with better LGBTQ laws, we had sort of a last minute move last fall to Oregon. So I'm back in the Pacific Northwest, and I kind of had to give up my career to do that. And I was like, I'm gonna miss this. I don't want to leave all that behind. This is part of my identity at this point. Like, so much of your identity gets wrapped up in your work if you're an artist, if you're a teacher. And so having to take a day job again, and just kind of do other stuff on the side when I can, it's just, it hurt. So when I got the email, I was so excited to be like, I'll get to come back around, and it'll be like a full circle thing. I can use all the stuff that I've been learning elsewhere. I've missed it. I've got all this stuff. I've got all these experiences, but I've been waiting for someone to say, yes, we can use you. You can be useful on this. And it's personal. My eldest daughter was a zombie baby in the village. My wife was holding her. She fell asleep, so she had this great kind of like, and was even making moaning noises for a little while. It was perfect.
That was your baby?
That was my
Zombie
daughter.
baby?
That was my
Wow.
eldest,
That was the ninja throwing
who
baby.
just finished her first year at Willamette. Just finished her second year. If that dates us all now.
Oh my God, you guys
She
are old.
and her younger twins also have all done gaming now. My soon-to-be high school son is big on GMing. He's got a group that he's been playing with online with his old friends from Ohio, where we were before. So yeah, it's personal in a lot of ways, and it's professional, and it's giving me that sense of I am still that person. I could get to be that person again. So yeah, in all the ways of like feeling like I had to leave so many people behind when I left Seattle, and I've had a hard time feeling like I had friends in a base since then. So getting that call was like, yes, we get to play again. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. I am too. Kevin is very, very good at what he does.
Yes.
Well, he does lots of stuff. I'm only really familiar with his fight choreography background, but I'm sure that he's very good at a lot of stuff. But yeah, like actually, we didn't even get to use all of the fight choreography that he did. So
we got his guy.
No. I mean,
we have
there
a
was reasons
special
for that.
guest.
Yeah.
We have a special guest. We're trying to hopefully.
Yeah, let's Scott introduce himself, and then we'll pick this back up, right?
I don't want to interrupt Brian. Brian was on a roll. I just quietly popped in here. Hello, I'm a bard, and just stepped out.
Nice.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going, buddy?
Great.
Hey,
I thought
Kevin.
you were
Good to
not
see
coming. Great.
Matt, Andy, Abby, Adam.
So
I can read.
Introduce yourself, Mr. Scottsy.
I'm Scott C. Brown. I play Flynn the Fine. I am now bald.
Nice.
But for how long?
As long as I want it.
Yeah.
At least until the next play.
Scott, why is this movie important to you? Why is getting Dorkness 4 finally in the can? I know you being in the can is important to you, but for the movie, why is getting Dorkness 4 in the can so important?
I mean, it's just a journey we started a long time ago, and it's a quest we've never achieved. I'm sorry, I just had to. But it's just important because it will put the cap on the process that we've gone through
to get here. I mean, we finally get to know what the end of the story is. We've all been very invested, the actors, the producers, the writer, everybody involved has just been a familial community, and it would just be really nice to get this baby over the finish line and put a pin in it and wrap it up and go, okay, that was that, what's next?
Yep. For me, before we get to Matt, because I know you like words, I joined the group shortly after I guess you just finished filming JQ1. I was doing a lot of footage editing. I owned a game shop at the time.
I remember.
And was like,
Hey,
hey,
20 games in Normandy
you want to
Park.
come show? Yeah, you want to come show a movie? And we just became fast friends. And I actually had a skill set that pertained to film production. So I'm very excited for this as Gamers 3 I was obviously in and part of, but this is the first time I've been in the production of a Gamers film this deeply, and I'm very excited about it. As a fan too. All right, Matt, it's all on you.
All right, what do you want to know?
Well, let's talk a little bit about. Actually, why don't we take some questions? If the audience has any questions, feel free to put them in chat. I'll relay them to Matt, appropriate, please. We can talk about that. We can also talk about sort of the structure of the Kickstarter. We saw very briefly that it's going through the end of June. It's important that we hit these numbers because this is kind of a one-time attempt. We don't get a bunch of these. We never know when the next pandemic's going to be. But apart from that, it goes without saying, we are not getting younger, and getting this movie filmed is extremely important to tell the story before we're relaying it over 3 p.m. dinners with no teeth.
Well, I'm getting younger, so
you're totally Benjamin Buttoning every day.
I am muted. No, I'm not. Okay. I also have a question for the audience because I'm just kind of curious. Like, I assume the folks who are still watching probably know something about this franchise, these movies and stuff. And my kind of questions are, what are some of your favorite parts of the last films, and what kinds of things are you looking forward to in another Gamers movie? So
that's the reverse way a panel goes.
No, I know. Yeah,
but
I know.
It's fine.
I'm mixing some stuff up. Yeah, I'm aware.
We have a question from TRDG 11. What are your thoughts on the mainstreaming of our hobby compared to what it was years ago? That's a good one.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, we were chatting before the panel a bit about how much the industry has changed in the last 20 years. I mean, like visibly. Like when we were making these first movies, it was still like it had a very strong core hobby audience, but there wasn't a ton of spillover or representation in the wider media landscape, right? And so one of the reasons why those first movies really hit was because gamers and people who had gamed could say and show it to their friends and families, this is what I do, in a way that like wasn't pejorative. We're not making fun of gamers. We are gamers. We're exploring the foibles and the ridiculousness and the humor and the fun and the camaraderie and the family community nature of the adventure. And so the fact that it's as big as it is now is fantastic. It's rewarding. I think it's absolutely delightful. That it's a thing that kids want to do now, rather than a thing that like you had to be careful about asking if you wanted to do because you might get outed as a nerd.
Or have your parents send you to a church camp.
That's an oddly specific example.
Yeah.
I'll jump in on that briefly and then boot it to Andy. I was watching Stranger Things, or trying to before we got booted off, with my son, and trying to explain the difference about, like, yeah, we actually got bullied for that back then. It's like, really?
Yeah.
It was different. Like, that was I thought it was just a movie thing. No, that was real. That happened, and the whole moral panic over was D&D Satanism and all the stuff in those chick tracts and all like that. That was real, and I think a lot of kids never
It's also
realized
kind of revealing just how
Dark
messed up
Dungeons,
a
yes,
Gen
like
X
that.
childhood was. You know?
And there's a downside sometimes of the corporate, like, we're going to try and make as much money off of this now that we can, that it's mainstream with some, like, I do sometimes miss the fact that anybody doing it was a labor of love and it wasn't as corporatized sometimes.
True.
But I'm willing to pay that price to have more people in the fold and get to enjoy it and not get beat up.
Well, I think that's like the main point, right? Is that there have been so many mainstream movies, gamers movies, role-playing game movies that have come out, and they have just not hit the threshold that I found watching, some of the gamers stuff, right? The sarcasm, the just the all around, the wanting to strangle some of the different characters, like bards, or anything like.
What do you got against bards? Yeah, no shade whatsoever towards Jeremy Irons, who literally just brought it in the old Dungeons and Dragons movie. Quality has been iffy for a long time, and I really do feel, as a fan, Gamers was the absolute top tier of what you could do with the Gamers movie. I will say, speaking to Kevin's point, bullying was real. Shocking to me, though, growing up, is that the bullying didn't come from peers. It wasn't jocks bullying me or anything like that. It was adults. It was particularly parents that were extremely intractable when it came to sort of understanding anything I was interested in. So if it wasn't, a specific check it off of the electives list kind of thing, it had to be wrong and evil. And I think that mindset has come around, and I do think that the pop culture sort of ubiquitousness of gaming has aided in that a lot. And I think Gamers is part of making that happen. So I appreciate that, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
I will say we have a lot of questions. And
There's more questions.
Let's answer some questions.
Will there be cameos from industry celebrities?
Yes. No. You just have to watch and.
You just have to watch. You just have to.
We can say definitively yes, though, right? Yes.
I think we can say yes. We can't say whom.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get spoiled. We're going to hide behind the spoiler shield for any questions that are really uncomfortable or that we're unprepared for.
Pile of dead air.
Aren't we technically industry professionals at this point? It's been 20 years.
That was the trick.
I mean, I got my SAG card, so sure.
We're trying not to. Okay. Will characters from other properties be showing up?
That's actually a spoiler.
Yeah, I figured. Here's your favorite pre-spoiler, Matt. Who's Jen Page playing?
That's a spoiler. But I can't tell you this because I can answer this question. Jen is not playing Lester. So I'll answer one question here is no, the characters, the actual PCs are not appearing in this movie because this time it's the gamers themselves on the quest. It's Cass, Lodge, Joanna, Leo, and Gary going on the life and death quest because they've been stuck in the fantasy world for the last dozen years. And if we remember, the concluding events of Hands of Fate, the Shadow warps them to farther all the world of the Gamers movies and Journey Quest, and we ended on a cliffhanger there. Well, we're leaning into the fact that we're all in our 40s now, and our knees don't work, and it's been a long time. And picking up not from the point where they were warped in, but 12 years later. Like I don't think it's super spoilery to say they've adapted not well to living in a medieval-esque, early Renaissance style world with zero marketable skills or powers or class abilities, and have been laying low for that time, trying to stay safe. Because also, if you recall from the end of Gamers 3, Joanna was pregnant in those final scenes. So what's happened there? They throw a baby into the mix. Well, that baby is now a 12-year-old hormonal time bomb. So if any of you who are parents know, that's a new thing that we're branching into now, is the gamers have kids. At least kid. Ha! Spoiler! So that answers the question uncomfortably. I'm going to pretend to glitch so I don't have to.
Matt, you're going to be so mad at Matt when we're done with this. So Anchor 89, that literally answered your question, hopefully, as well.
I just want to say thank you for saying I look 40.
Who said that?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Someone said it.
Taking the double glasses, Scott. It's fantastic.
I get a right and look at a computer screen. It's awesome getting young.
Yeah, I've got
Those
like
are false
400
eyes to
times
fool predators.
zoom over here. Say what?
There's another question, Andy.
Where? Sir, not appearing in the film. You can read it. You are a producer.
Oh,
Feel
sure.
free.
So I love the genre of real world crossing into the
That was the one I
game.
said we answered, because Matt just answered that they're crossing over to the real world with no.
Yeah.
That was Anchor 89. These are
So
my
I-
glasses.
I actually, real briefly on that, since Matt already said something about it. I was kind of curious through what was going to happen, because between our characters in the fantasy world and the players swapping places, I was thinking Gamers 4 was somehow going to be hopping back and forth between, and that always seemed really overwhelming to me. And so I'm really excited that we're just focusing on the players in the fantasy world through this film. And so we can really tell that story, because I think that's the one I'm truly interested in. And so I'm looking forward to that. Just want to share.
No, that's excellent, and I do agree, because it's very interesting, because now you still have the table, right? The table still exists because the people brought that mentality with them. So you still have the table, but now it's for real stakes, and that's beyond interesting to me. So I'm very excited for this.
Well, it's in the design. When we were spitballing ideas, I mean, that's what we hit on that we really liked, was how do we tell another gamer's story that's relevant, but that isn't retreading stuff that we've done before? How do we make this a new, unique, must-see experience? And that was it. That was what we hit on. Is they're the one. It's life or death. The players are the gamers, but of course, what they can't do is divorce themselves from what Lodge always tried to get the players to do. There is no break between player knowledge and character survival. Like, the players have to metagame their way through this entire adventure, because again, they have no powers, they have no class abilities. All they've got is decades of experience screwing with the DM.
Abby, mute your mic.
Oops.
Will there be any pets in the film? I know for a fact that we can't talk about it. The answer is yes, but we can't talk.
Yes, but I can't tell you what.
Yes. Merck asks a question that we're going to get asked, and that is, are we talking about the series season 2? No, this is Gamers 4, the movie franchise. So if you want to talk a little bit about that more, Matt, or
I mean, that's just it. Gamers the series, episode 2, Attack of the Pones, is planning a crowdfunding campaign that I believe is starting July 1st on BackerKit. This is different. This is the Gamers the movie franchise. That began with Dorkness Rising, continued through Hands of Fate, and is concluding in Dorkness Falls.
Was there a reason for shifting the focus to CCGs in the third film? And will we see any more of that game in the fourth film?
So, as I touched on earlier, the idea was we didn't want to just rehash old, what we'd done before, right? We didn't want to go through. I heard from a friend of mine who works in the industry that, like, there will always be another Sharknado movie until they stop making money, right? You know what to expect. They just keep repeating themselves. They're not really different at that point. We're not interested in telling the same story over and over again. And so for each of the gamers features, there's been an escalation from the previous one. Like if you look at the original Gamer short, it's 48 minutes. It's a bunch of gaming jokes strung together. It's RPG humor in a trench coat. And we didn't know how to end it, so we just killed everyone at the ending, right? Which is what you do. So the escalation to Dorkness Rising is we're going to make it a feature film, but we're actually going to explore the lives of the players as well. We're going to see how the game affects them beyond just the table, and explore the relationships between gamers, which was also interesting, very interesting to us. So then for Hands of Fate, we thought the escalation was we're going to a convention. We have the new game that we were interested in playing. We're exploring the gamers later in their lives, in romance, in the family struggles of trying to find a time to play. And yeah, so while we're not going to be touching on the world of Countermay, which is the world of Romance of the Nine Empires, the fictional game from Gamers 3, we are continuing. The escalation this time around is that it's the gamers themselves stuck in the world directly facing the nemesis who's been trying to kill them from the very beginning.
I like this question. What actions can we take to stop them from making more Sharknadoes? We actually have a line for that. We could potentially end Sharknado. Tony Becerra.
Tony, it's all up to Tony Becerra.
It is.
He allows this madness to continue.
Matt, what about part 5?
I haven't even made part 4 yet. You're asking me. Okay. You asked, so I'll tell you. If there is going to be a Gamers 5, the title I like for it is Heart of Dorkness. And we would not make it for the sake of making another Gamers film. We would make it because we have a solid story that needs to be told. Because I don't have that now, I can't tell you what that would be. Because the idea is Dorkness Falls is concluding. We're done. This will be retiring these characters, ending the storyline. It'll be so nice to have actually finished a franchise that we began. But I'm not going to preclude the potential for future Gamers films. You know, if the muse starts chattering again, I've learned to write down everything she says. Yes. Brian.
That's a great point, because it can get kind of confusing because there are other The Gamers things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just talking about this film on a franchise, but that's not necessarily meaning that there's not more in the Gamers world that can happen.
Correct.
Like for instance, the season 2 of Gamers, the series, for instance, would be able to do that.
Yes.
This is open to anyone, but particularly Scott and Brian. Since the characters are based on the players in the real world, how close are the characters' personalities to their respective actors and actresses?
I would say that the closest one would likely be Gary and Christian Doyle. Christian Doyle, who plays Gary. I think that out of all of us, it's probably that's likely the closest kind of individuals are imitating life. Gary would often have like these interjections to pump up the volume, pump up the energy of the films, just by putting little quippy things in, and sometimes literally doing so when in the middle of the conversation he just like interrupts with some sort of joke that no one acknowledges and they continue talking. That's very much like Christian Doyle. He is not as wild as Gary, but he's pretty close.
I can tell a story about that. I wish he were here to tell it because he loves this one. Is when we were doing one of the first things we filmed in Dorkness Rising was that 8-page table scene. The first RPG session where Joanna joins the party and Lodge inserts Sir Osric into the story as the DM's player character. And for the dynamic, the note I gave to Christian for his note was, I want you to get the other actors to blow as many takes as you can. Like, make them interrupt, be the jokester and whatnot. And the thing is, he kept doing that well into the fantasy shoot as well. So, and I don't think he's ever turned that off. I think he's still operating from that note from 19 years ago.
Now, come to think of it, go ahead.
He's essentially a Kitsune spirit. He's like he's our own personal Loki.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I wonder now. I didn't actually know Christian before the first movie, so I'm wondering if Gary informed Christian, and like instead of the other way around, it just kind of the character sort of became his personality in a way. I'm wondering. I don't know.
It's a real puzzler.
He's always
Christian
been
is your fault, Matt.
Oh yeah, that's true. Scott would know. Christian's always been that way. He's just broken like that. We love him.
Yes.
How long did you know Christian before the first movie, Scott?
Personally, we were both in a production of A Few Good Men, and the guy playing Santiago, who is the young man who's killed and sets off everything in A Few Good Men, was going to PLU with you guys and said, hey, my friends are making a movie. So Christian and I thought, what the heck? And then Owen and somebody else also auditioned, and only Christian and I got called back / parts, and they were all pissed off. And we said, look, there's got to be some movie that's out there for us ugly people. So step aside. And, that's what happened. Christian and I, the ugly two, got in the movie. Thank you. Oh, and then, no, I knew Matt from Chaz and the improv group, but I hadn't met Christian through that.
And that's odd because I had met both, I'd met both you in like 96 when we were part of the same improv troupe. And I remember because you were working on a one-man show at the time, and that really stuck with me, the bits that you shared with the troupe. And then I remember Christian, I joined the crew troupe at another time when Scott had rotated out. And what I remember most about Christian was that in an early attempt at the show that he's run several times, Joe's Diner, his character put my character in a chokehold that wasn't a pretend chokehold, and I gave some very convincing choking sounds, and then I didn't see him again until he came to audition.
Oh, yeah, when I was in Joe's Diner, Christian made me die and lay on the floor for 45 minutes. I'm starting to see a pattern. Okay. Right. Well, I think we're getting close to the end here, so I want to make sure that everybody has said everything. Yes, we are starting a Kickstarter. Thank you, TRDG11. The Kickstarter is different. Stay tuned to the Kickstarter for more information on that. But yeah, if you have any more information you want to share, anything you want to button up, Matt, or thank yous, or yes, Brian, yes, raise your hand. Nice.
Since we're talking about the Kickstarter again, for the folks that are watching, like what is the best advice for them after this meeting here about the Kickstarter? Say they're interested in pledging for it or telling people about it. What's the best thing they can do?
So I can share that with you. We were really hoping that we would have our Kickstarter campaign approved by the time the PaizoCon panel happened. Thank you, Paizo. We moved heaven and earth to get this done in the amount of time we had, and it's still in review. It takes up to 3 days. It's been about 2.5 days. It's a heavy time of year for Kickstarter as well. So instead of being able to share with you the sign up link, we have put together an email contact landing page. So if you go to dorknessfalls.com, just like it sounds, you can basically fill out a little form that we will send you an email to notify you upon launch of the campaign, which again is launching on Tuesday, May 28th. And I promise
Tuesday, May 28th, the day after Memorial Day?
That's the same one.
Wow, that's this Tuesday.
See, it's good fire there, Mr. Active. It's there.
Yeah.
So yes, that's dorknessfalls.com. Sign up. We'll share. We'll send an email blast out the morning of. I'm hoping to hit a launch at 6 a.m. Pacific on May 28th. So, and then we've got 30 some days of screaming and hair pulling out to raise the funds. You know, it's always a fun adventure, careening down a mountainside in a burning school bus kind of vibe. But we got a lot of fun stuff planned for the campaign. A lot of ancillary vids and things, little sketches here and there. Andy, would you like to share the name of the egregious website you've put together?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to get kind of a taste of what we're going to be doing during the campaign for daily updates, head over to onlyflins.com. That's onlyflynns.com. And yeah, just keep checking back there after the campaign launches. Have fun with that.
What? You said that was a private photo shoot, Andy. You
Hey,
said
man.
that was private.
And
Look,
you said you read the contract.
Patriot Act, whatever. I don't know. It's out of my hands.
It's private in
That's-
some sense of the word.
Oh well.
It was, yeah,
now
they
it's
were
out there.
private until I posted them, Scott. What? That's
Oh, okay.
it ended the
Sorry.
previous contract. I don't.
I thought I was trying to keep my privates private, but my privates are still private. The rest of it's not private. I gotcha.
Well, yes, let's go with that. Anyway, go to onlyflins.com if you want to get a bard on.
Cool.
Oh my god.
I'd like to point out, Abby, it's too late to back out of the production.
It is. It's way too late.
I don't think it is.
I'm gonna hop in and share what I refused to share in the beginning, which is that I'm really looking forward to a couple of things. One of them is Liberty Cabbage, which is a sketch comedy show that I did with a lot of the people on the panel right now, and that should be coming out soonish.
Well,
Very
first
soon.
season's out already. First season's out.
Right.
But second season is currently in post-production and getting ready to be.
You mean the pilot's out?
Pilot.
That's what I meant. Pilot's out.
That's what no, you meant.
Right. The rest of the season one will be out. Can we say June?
Next month. Next month. We expect to be able to drop it in the middle of the Dorkness Falls campaign.
Excellent.
Yes.
So
So
where can we find? Where can we find Liberty Cabbage?
Well, we're gonna put it. We'll put it in pieces on YouTube and in a higher quality on Amazon Prime.
Pieces of cabbage. And as everybody with the gas stove knows, if the pilot is out, things are about to explode.
Ooh.
My cabbages.
I like that.
It's a reference.
You gotta remember that. Any final questions or plugs before we turn this back over to the fine folks at Paizo?
I have a couple other things coming out, but I don't know when the release date is, so I shall stay quiet about them.
Okay.
Sorry.
I produced a documentary.
Yes.
And
An
features
award-winning documentary.
an award-winning documentary. We just got our last award from Cannes Arts Festival, so really excited about that. And it's going to be in distribution, so I think the easiest thing for people to do is potentially just get all of our social media information and they can follow that way.
I'll throw out that if anybody is like dying to figure out how to become a goblin and die in the upcoming movie, there's a stage combat workshop that I'm going to be teaching at in Seattle in August, the Seattle Saga. We'll have classes in film fighting and basic stage combat and some other things. So if you are interested, there's a website for that. It's not hard to find.
I want to do that. I want to go to that. That sounds fun. Oh, I forgot. Journey Quest 4 should be out this year. I am not quite.
Gen Con, it's going to be Thursday at 10 p.m. at Gen Con.
Oh, okay.
So
got a lot of stuff coming out. Excellent.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. stuff. Thank you to everyone out there who knows who we are and who joined us for this. Thank you to everyone who's learning who we are and stuck around. Thank you, future friends and enemies, and also my friends and enemies here on the panel. This has been amazing.
I hate/love you, Andy.
Yeah, if anyone has social media stuff, mine is BABSEK79 at all of the things. Instagram, Facebook, all things.
I'm Matt Vansel at stuff. I'm old.
I'm usually fight designer at various things.
I'm
Violet
not
Andy.
on. Oh, what was that, Andy?
YLF Andy.
YLF Andy. YLF Andy. I believe I am at Brian to the Lewis at most things, but I'm off of Twitter now because you know.
We don't like Twitter.
Yeah.
We know.
I don't know what I am on any platform. Just Scott C. Brown. It's probably
You're the real
me.
Scott Brown on a bunch of stuff.
Not the former senator from Massachusetts.
That's why you put the C in there.
He
Those
makes
aren't my dick pics.
If you want to see Scott's dick pics, again, it's onlyflins.com.
That's only Flynn's.
Which will be running until it's shut down by the FCC.
Junior mandolin to our dulcet tones.
Yes,
I don't.
and no, spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, so everyone, please make sure that you go to dorknessfalls.com to sign up to be notified when the Kickstarter starts.
That's actually going to be that's hugely important for the momentum of the campaign, because the two biggest stretches of the campaign are the first 2 days and the last 2 days. Because the last 2 days, the last 48 hours is when all those reminder emails go out to people who said, "Oh, this looks interesting. I'll think about it. I'll come back later." And typically what we see is a big spike in the beginning and then this terrifying plateau through the middle where things barely move, and then the spike at the end. We'd really like to not have to have defibrillators in everyone's homes for the final stretches of the campaign. So if you spread the word far and wide, share the link. If we can, the bigger a boost we can get on that first day or the first couple of days, the more likely this thing is going to land. The magic number is 30%. Remember this from a panel at PAX like a dozen years ago. 30%, a Kickstarter that crosses the 30% threshold, people who come to it see it more as something that is happening than something that is floundering, and they want to get into a part of it. So the sooner we can get to 30%, earliest, ideally in the first couple of days, it's grand momentum, and we're not going to be biting our cuticles back until for the rest of the campaign.
I mean,
Also, you guys have to
we gotta go.
We do have to go.
But you guys also have to see the Kickstarter levels too. They're amazing. So.
Oh yes, that's all great. Sorry, we've been preparing for this. The campaign is amazing. When you have a chance, look around. The rewards are fantastic. The graphics look grand. We give away zero spoilers, but it's gonna be grand, folks. I'm so excited to be telling the story with all of you and all of you on the panel. I mean.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, dear. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.